YouTube, it's been a minute. Matt here, Hollywood's Garage. It's been busy in my life lately, so yeah, there's some space in between videos. What am I at, like 3 weeks now between videos? But yeah, 2026, new year, we're gonna hammer it out. We're gonna get all the things done. And if you're new around here, thanks for clicking on the video. Click the subscribe button, like, comment, you know, that all helps. And if you're an old follower, thanks for continuing watching my videos and supporting me and commenting and all that. It all helps. Today we're gonna work on the Escalade 2018 Escalade Platinum with the 6.2. I think they all have the 6.2. It's got a common issue. Most videos I do on the Escalade are common, or you know, common things to put on it, like my light up badges. But going down the highway is when you notice it the most, or even just when it's really cold out, it doesn't heat up. It only goes to about a quarter of the temp gauge, not even to the halfway mark where it should be. It's better than the alternate issue, which is it overheats. And the reason is the thermostat in these. They're a plastic housing, and they just, I don't know, this one, luckily, it's got, I'm assuming it got stuck about half open, quarter open, enough that it can flow and then not keep the heat into the engine. It just keeps going and going through the rad to cool off. So when you're doing long drives on the highway, when your RPMs are low, you have enough heat to heat the cab, but it takes a while because you don't have that hotter heat, right? So, and the alternate one where I said the thermostat will stay closed and it won't open, is you're gonna overheat your engine. Fans will be on all the time when you park because it's overheating, right? So I got the best of the two problems, I guess. But here's the part I have. It's all plastic, and then obviously your thermostat's not. You need some metal in there. But a plastic housing, like, boggles my mind. The LS in that car, that's an aluminum housing. And this is what GM does. Crazy. Super simple, 3 bolts, 2 hoses, and don't forget the gasket. But it's a Motorrad one. The GM one's like 140 bucks Canadian. This one was $63 at a parts store. You get a pretty good discount at. So it's the same temperature, 207 Fahrenheit. They have one that goes to 197, but I'm gonna keep it stock. She's not a race car, you know what I mean? I'm okay with the heat. And honestly, LSs and LTs, because this is an LT, they like that 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where they burn the best combustion for your buck per se. So on this car, I have a 160, but it's turboed. This thing is, she runs pretty hot because of the 3-inch intercooler. So if you're new here, this is my 73 Ventura that I've turbo LS swapped. But so yeah, with my 3-inch intercooler in front of the rad and the trans cooler, she gets pretty hot, right? So I had to put a 160, you can see down there the aluminum, but it helps. It still gets pretty hot in the summer months. If you're followed me for a while, you'll know about that. But we'll do a video on that car here coming up pretty soon. I gotta do some work on it, but I'm getting distracted. So the thermostat ends up super easy right there. Get yourself a thermostat, jug of coolant, because you're gonna spill a little bit. We'll try our best to catch what we can. You're not gonna have to drain the rad or nothing. You have a procedure that might work. I got a little catch basin when you go to drain it. You're gonna spill a little bit, so just prepare for that. Put a catch basin if you can. Luckily, it should miss the mud guard underneath, so it should hit the floor. So I'll put a pan down there just in case. But first things first is we got to remove this part of the air box, which will be squeezing these clamps and popping off like that. I said like that. There we go, like that. God darn. And then there's one on this side. I'm not left-handed, and that seems to be the easiest way to get these off. Little tip on those: when you go push the gray thing down, push into the box first, push down, then pull. Duh. So next is you don't want to take the gray cover off because you have to get to that. That just pops on and off. Super simple. Hose clamp here, pop this off out of the way. So it's just 3 bolts, I think they're 10 mils. Like I said, 2 squeeze hose clamps, which are the devil. What we're gonna do is I've seen a method where you can pop this off and drain it into like a not a bucket. If you have a bucket or something to pour it into, because you want to drain this hose. It's kind of flat, and then that way you can recover. You're not going to spill it all, and you can reuse it. But anyway, let me find a pail. Wasn't quick enough there, but you get the hint. Hold the hose up till this drains out enough, and then you can drain the hose. As much as you can, and then put that over there. And get your pliers out of there because they're going to be all wet and slimy now. We can throw that, or no, I was going to say we throw it back on, but we won't actually. Put it down here and drain it. That's all we're going to do for now because I'm already out. It's already full. Hopefully that light's not too blinding, but we're gonna go here. We are going to loosen up the small clamp, which I'll have to get some needle nose for. Get yourself a pick and try to break that rubber seal without wrecking your hose. That. Put that over to here. Now we're gonna grab a 10 mil and zip these off, and then we can take this hose off. See, look at that coolant coming out. We didn't drain enough. There we go, we got it off. Don't forget your gasket. It'll come with the new one, so make sure that comes off. Gasket is already on the new one. And then when you go to tighten these on, you gotta want to go even. So I know I'm using a bit of a power tool here, but you'll notice I'm not clicking them in. I'm trying to put them in even. It's that simple. So we'll grab this hose, we'll put this back on, which is your overflow. Then we'll have to grab the hose. There we go. And then we're going to take the hose and fill it up with what we did recover, which wasn't much. Doesn't that look like Gatorade? Yummy. All back together. Let's fire it up. And we might have some belt squealage. We got a little bit of coolant on the belt, but we'll look for leaks around that flange area there. And then we'll get this thing up to temp. And we'll add a little bit of coolant. So I haven't done that. It says what? Full cold. So you can see how much it went down. It's way down, but bottom of my finger. We have to go up to there, so let's top that up. Actually, it's probably better to do it, fill it when it's cold, like it says, because then you have that line to go off of, which is what I'll do right now. I use about 1/3 of a jug. 50-50 is what I have, and I'm about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch below the cold fill line. I don't really want to go right up to the cold fill line. It's not necessary. This whole thing is a reservoir, right? So we let it have a little room for expansion. This is room for expansion obviously too, but it did take quite a bit. Anyway, we'll start her up. You're gonna have a little bit of smoke obviously and start up because you spill coolant, right? So it's getting warm, evaporating off, so that's normal. I've looked for leaks in that flange area where there's nothing. So we're doing good there. We know we got a good seal. We didn't crack that plastic either by just hand tightening. We're at we're about quarter way up the gauge, I guess, halfway to half, which is kind of where it was when I was driving on the highway, and you know, -20°C. So give it a bit more. We'll see if it goes past half or not, or if it goes above that, because it didn't before. You'll also know when the thermostat opens, because this will be hot and that level should go up, right, expansion tank wise, so keep an eye on that as well. If your temperature in the dash is going really high and this is still cold to the touch, you have an air bubble, or your thermostat's not opening, you might have a dud. But just keep that in mind while you're monitoring this. We're almost there. She's a tick away from being at half. Let's check our upper hose. So cold, our level's about the same. You can kind of pulse this hose too. Sometimes it gets coolant moving. You can see the level there bouncing, which is good. We're moving fluid around. Also, if you have heat coming out of your register, that shows you got heat through your heater core, right? Which means you have coolant flowing. This is what this is all about. So if another thing what you can do while you're in there, so behind that was the temperature sensor, which are kind of known to go too, but usually when those go, the fans stay on because it shows super hot too, and your heat will just be normal inside the cab. I knew with my thermostat, because I'd have the heat cranked, it was just like a long time to heat up. It wasn't like an issue with the sensor, it was an actual hardware problem. Okay, we're almost at the half again. I mean, if you wanted to speed it up, you go for a little rip around your cul-de-sac or up and down your driveway. I was kind of revving it up to about 2,500, 3,000 RPM earlier, just kind of warm it up. Still waiting. You can see that the level's going down, so still taking some. Oh, I think she's just opening now. Let's see here. 150. Well, shooting it at the plastic. 160. And then that's the lower hose right there. 115. So it's cooling, right? It'll be coming through here, letting hot, going through the rad, all the way up and then back into the engine here. So you want this bottom hose to be cooler. 130 and 150. You see how much it's gone down. In all reality, it should be going up because it expands, right? So keep an eye on that. When you shut her down after all this, top her back up when it's cold to the cold line. I might have to go for a burn. It might not just be getting enough load on that motor. Well, the fans were on. Well, we're back. We did a little loop in my cul-de-sac. The heat has pretty much stayed at that point, just below, just below the halfway point. Let me know if yours sits there. I don't quite remember what that was at before this whole thermostat thing issue. It's not really my daily, it's the wife. So anyway, let's go check the level. Oh yeah, that's hot now. That's more like it. 184 and then 115. Fans are doing their thing. They're not on right now, so obviously to drive around. It's also about -16 to -20 outside. I don't remember exactly, but somewhere in there. That's Celsius, not freedom units. But yeah, I'd say that's successful. We'll have to top that up, or overflow. You can see it's about an inch below. Obviously hot, so it'll shrink a bit when it cools. Like I said, top that up when it cools off. But yeah, it's overall successful. We got really good heat in the cab. The temperature hasn't fluctuated inside the cab either, like the gauge, where before it would. If you're going for a drive, it would cool off. So I call that successful. Very nice. So just below the half. So there you have it. Quick and dirty way of changing that. And like I said, just behind that was the temperature sensor. You could have done it at the same time if you wanted. A lot of people do both same time, but honestly, why throw more parts at it? Do one at a time. The biggest thing you don't want is overheating of the engine. So that is where the temp gun comes in handy. Amazon, they're like 60 bucks. You can check for yourself to see if that gauge is even correct inside your vehicle. To a point, it's obviously a gauge. And I can't remember if you go through your settings if it has an actual temperature, but regardless. That's nice and hot now. You have a bit of a mess, so if it's summertime, you're doing this, or it's not wintertime, hose off your engine bay after. You're not gonna get the smell of burning coolant like I have right now. And I wonder if this will have pressure now. Oh yeah, she's got pressure. So, yeah, at the very end of this, let's make sure to top that up because you want that back at the cold level. Like I said, ½ inch below works too. Get yourself the motor at thermostat, get yourself some coolant. So let's check out this old one. So my guess is, because right now, that big one is sealed. The small one, I think, is like your bypass. That's open a bit. I guess it would be normally, right? So, I don't know. You can boil it in some boiling water, see if it'll open. I don't see it open. Like, I guess I could throw some coolant or whatever down in there and see if it drips through. I don't know. Doesn't look open, but I don't know. There was a problem, so it was that simple. Well, thanks for watching. Again, if you're new around here, thanks for clicking on the video, and hopefully you learned a little bit and maybe not make a mess like I did. And, you'll find a better way of get a bigger jug and, catch more of it. But catch you in the next one.